Y'all know me, Big the Legend G, with my co-host Initial D, bringing that heat in the twist street. Grab your popcorn, kick up your feet, sit back, relax. We about to blow. Welcome to our channel. Enjoy the show. Ayy.
Hard conversation, brain stimulation, BGID, no imitation. Look, pull up on the mic. Two bitty guys is rocking the night. Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch. I guarantee it's gonna be a hit. It's showtime. I feel like we need this is where if it was me and I popped up on the screen, I would hit something on my stream deck. You know, like a horn or something, you know, not just after all that, all of those lyrics that y'all just heard, and then we just pop up on the screen like this, all playing, no music in the background, like oh man,
right. Yep, that's exactly it.
So, welcome, folks, back over to the Two Bearded Guys podcast. We are early, 2 minutes early from what I'm looking at. I got 8:29 p.m. on my computer, which is cool, you know, because sometimes we're like 5 minutes late. But today, you know, we seem to be doing pretty good on time. But nonetheless, I think we got a little bit of wiggle room for some small talk.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Definitely.
Yes, sir. So so how's your week been this week, man?
Busy. It's been good, but it's been busy.
I feel it.
Yep. We are getting ready to open up a new department at our main campus. So I've been busy working on some things for that, and Friday I got to go up to the campus and make sure that everything's tip top shape. And then next month we get started on our new place, and yeah, so it's gonna be a busy May for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're busier now than when you were at the dealership?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Very. I am more busy now, but at the same time, I still kind of have that cushion to, like, you know, woosah.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of the best of both worlds right there. Like you're busier, making more money, but you still got, you know, wiggle room. You know, that's a very blessed position to be in, because, you know, a lot of times people will compromise their time for more money.
Right.
They're making money, but they don't have time to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great thing. That's real good. I definitely feel you on the busy part, man. You know, I feel like both of us actually are a broken record when we come on here every week. Look, we adulting, okay? Like, there is definitely nothing easy about being a grown up.
No, not at all. So if anyone out there knows how to cancel your adult subscription, please let us know in the chat. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, unless we're locked into a contract for life. I won out. I was not ready for this.
I want to be a kid again.
You know something, man? It's yes and no. You know, I miss not having the responsibilities. But I don't miss not being in control of certain things. You know, I control a lot more than, or at least I feel like I do a lot more now than when I was a kid. So I look back at my life, and you know, sometimes you gotta like pause and look at your life for where it is. Like, look at where you are. Look at your health. Look at the people in your life and what you have. And it's amazing how, like, when you stop and you focus on that, you're like, man, I'm doing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
You know, in retrospect, when you look at other people's lives, you know, I know we're not supposed to compare our lives to others, but Or there's some people right now that's not doing good.
Yeah.
You know, they're struggling in a lot of different ways, and you know, I may be busy, but I thank God that He's got me.
Right. Yep.
You know, right where He needs me to be. So I'm not struggling, but I also don't have no room to be playing around either. So, so I can't do that. I mean, I gotta work. You gotta
Yep.
make that happen. So yeah. So yeah, for me, this week has been at an all-time high as far as like just everything I do. Of course, work, family. I'll say this because it doesn't change. That's the rotation for me: family, work, ministry, all of that. So right now we are like in, I guess you can say, second gear when it comes to moving. We filled out our paperwork today. We did that. So went over to the house, filled the paperwork out, did another walk around, and I was, just placing things in certain areas that we like. And my wife, she keeps saying that we're gonna have to go buy more stuff to fill this place out. Like,
You're right.
big, man. Like, if you guys, because I know you saw that that Baron Flash we're mentioning about coming down here July or something like that. And hey, the more the merrier. You're more than welcome to. Y'all will see for yourself, when y'all get down here, of course, what God has done for us. But so we move next Wednesday, a week from today. So I'm gonna have to adjust my schedule a little bit for that. I don't think I'm not taking off, but I'm just gonna be moving around a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be moving around a whole lot. So, it is what it is. So I'm in between a rock and a hard place. Like, I don't want to take time off, but I need to get this done.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
But the thing about our move is it's not like, oh, we got to move like ASAP. Like, we got time. We got time. So we'll probably get the majority of this stuff out over the weekend into our new home. So, and I will be, like I said, I've been tired, man. I've been really tired, pushing myself hard, working hard, just really going out of my way, for certain people that I'm working with, and it's all gonna pay off. It's all gonna pay off. I'm a firm believer that what the Bible says, as far as like God seeing your hard work, and it won't go unrewarded.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at though. So I'm really just looking forward to just relaxing. I haven't been able to do that this entire year. And we're about to go into May. So I know that next month, once we're all moved in, and then that little mini vacation comes up, that's going to be exactly what I need. Just unwind and relax and just get back to doing some of the things I really enjoy doing, because I do miss making videos, content. I do miss streaming. I miss all of that stuff. But this was way more. This was just something that needed to be done.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For my family, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they get it twisted. They get it twisted, and the priorities are messed up. Putting the cart before the horse,
right,
and not knowing when to pause and stop certain things so that you can handle your business. So, and that's just what I'm doing for the first quarter of this year.
Yeah. Yo, Kay, what's good, sis? Welcome in. Hope all is well with you.
Welcome in. Good to see you. So this is episode 40.
40.
Episode. We are like officially middle-aged podcasters now.
Yeah. We're old.
Yeah, we up there, man. Don't you see the salt and pepper, right? We up there right now. So MLM for hey, what's up?
Welcome in. Hey, we're doing good, Kay. too blessed to be stressed. Can't complain because it wouldn't do us any good anyway. So
yes, very, very, very good on this end. Working hard, not hardly working.
right.
That's for sure. So, and if I sound tired, forgive me. I've been up since 3:50. Yeah. So yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. It's a extremely like 16 plus hour work day for me. So hey, but it's all worth it though. I ain't complaining.
Look, I feel you on that one because I think we're about to go. I think when we do this go live, I think we're gonna be doing 12 hour shifts.
Yeah.
So
hey, that's where the money at, man.
OT, my guy.
Being honest.
OT.
Yeah. You got goals. You got full-time goals. You need full-time money to make that happen. So, but yeah, episode 40. Before we get into the topic, if you are watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the stream, please. Definitely helps out the channel a lot. Leave comments, interact. We love to talk to you all. If you're on Twitch, be sure to follow. Is it follow? Yeah, follow. See, I haven't been on Twitch in so long, I can't even remember. Be sure to follow. You still can't subscribe because I don't know why we haven't gotten no email from them
right.
yet. We ain't worried about it because we don't care.
We supposed to been hit affiliate, but
we did everything. I don't know what they tripping about as far as like requirements, but we did it. So, but we still didn't get the email, so we ain't tripping about it. So, but we appreciate y'all's support on both ends. So, episode 40, we are talking about dating outside of my race. Look at you, man. Your man got the image up here and
yeah,
stepping it up.
You see how we do? That's how we get down in the shower.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I looked at this image. I said, "That the same woman." I thought that was the same one.
Say they all look alike, huh?
I say, what? Well, they say we look alike too. I thought that was, look. I'm like, I'm like, nah, that ain't her.
Oh, man.
That's all right.
Oh, that is funny.
And we got to lighten the mood a little bit. So.
Oh, that is hilarious. All right.
But, oh, man. So, interracial dating. So this is a hot topic. It's always been a topic of discussion.
Yes.
Like since the days of segregation, I guess we can say. Like this has always been something that has been a point of a talking point over the course of like decades upon decades and decades. Yeah. We wanted to talk about it because of course there's even in 2025, like there is still like an issue with this with certain people,
Yes.
I'm gonna tell us a little short story. I promise this ain't gonna be long. So I got a client, she's a white woman, and ever since she was younger, I guess middle school, high school, she's always been attracted to black males. So she's always dated black men, and her sisters, same thing. One of them married to a black man. Even she got married to a black man as well, and they got divorced like about 4 years ago, something like that. And that's beside the point. So it just really seems like the females in her family are just attracted to black males. So she has this aunt that is she's supposed to be a Christian, quote unquote, but it really just sounds like she's just got a religious spirit, to be honest.
Yeah.
And she said something like super racist, like recently to her. She was like, if our ancestors, knew what was going on in our family, they would roll over in their graves. All of this intermingling and just not really staying within your staying with your people.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's messed up because, my client, she's got like 4 kids, and all of them are like biracial.
Mm-hmm.
So she took offense to it. She's like, so what are you trying to say? Like, my kids are like about an abomination or something? And it was just messed up. Like, some things you just don't need to let come out your mouth.
Right. Yeah,
You
I
know,
definitely agree. Yep.
even if you feel that way, shut up, man, and just don't say nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. But before I say anything, chat, if anybody in the chat right now, if you have ever been in an interracial relationship, put a 1 in the chat. Whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch, put a 1 in the chat. We want to see, again, this isn't to, say, oh, why are you in an interracial relationship? Woo, woo, woo. But this is, because we want to know. D and I, we are definitely men of faith, and we always want to. We're always going to give our opinions about things, and we don't want to step on nobody's toes. But if it happens, obviously, let us know. I will actually put a 1 in the chat as well, in spirit, because I have also been in interracial relationships as well. So. So let's see. K's, well, K, you're actually in one, right? If I'm not mistaken. But I know I know a few content creators that are in interracial relationships as well. Whether they're dating or married, one or the other. But I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
At first when I made this title, it was like, interracial dating, the good, the bad, the ugly. Because I mean, there are 3 parts to it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I got a 1 in the chat too, of course. I mean, I'm married. My wife's black, but
same.
I wasn't always with her. So.
Yeah. Okay, says my husband is white. Yep. So, like D said, this one is a very touchy subject for some people. I ain't gonna say the majority of people, but for some people. And everyone that's in the chat, man, y'all put in the comments what your thoughts are on it, on interracial dating or marriage, and we be happy to discuss things with you guys as well. Talk about it, because we have several points. We're not gonna make this like we did our last our last series.
Straight serious.
But the first thing that we want to emphasize when it comes to interracial dating and marriage is love who you want to love. Obviously, God is love.
Yeah.
Again, love who you want to love. I don't think anywhere in the Bible it says you can't date outside your race. In the New Testament, I'll put it that way, in the New Testament.
Yeah. No, go ahead and continue. I was just going to add something to that.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So, there's particular religious groups, we'll say, particularly black Hebrew Israelites. I don't know if y'all ever heard of them or not, but they are a group of black individuals who think that they are the chosen ones, or the lost tribe of Israel for the most part, and they believe that they are the real Jews and stuff of that nature. Without getting too deep into the doctrine of it, that's not really the point. The point is they're a very racist group, and they strongly hate white people, like with a passion, because they feel like white people are the devil, they are the seed of Satan, and all this different type of stuff. And they like to use like in the Old Testament, you know, God would tell the children of Israel to not mingle with foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Canaanites and the Hittites and stuff like that. You know, again, I'm not trying to
Oops.
like go deep in the doctrine, but there are some like people that God specifically told them not to mess with. I don't think it had anything to do with their ethnicity. I think it was more of a, you know, these people are corrupted, um,
Mm-hmm.
and just wicked, and you know, just because they were doing a lot of bad, evil things within that land before the book of Joshua. But they try to like cherry pick certain verses, certain portions of the Bible, and say, "See, God said not to like." He said to stay with your people. He said not to date outside of your race and things like that. Like I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This contradicts like the New Testament. If that's the case, you know, when Jesus said,
Yeah.
"Love one another as you love yourself," and you know, there's so many like talks about marriage. Like, there's no emphasis on ethnicity with marriage. It just says husband and wife. You know, get married. If you can't contain yourselves due to your temptations and your feelings, then get married. It doesn't say, well, get married to the same type of race that you are. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
just not there. So, um, but like you said, you know, love who you want. Like, now my view on this is you can't help who you're attracted to.
Right. Yep.
Like, you just can't. Like, you like what you like. I've heard people say that they are just not attracted to other races except for their own. And I've heard people say they're attracted to every other race except for their own. Like, I just hear it going so many different directions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, like, we all bleed the same. Um, I don't see a problem with it. I really
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna pose this question to you and to everyone in the chat. You know, as a child growing up, did anyone in your family ever tell you, you know, that you couldn't date outside your race?
You know what? This is crazy. I remember, and she probably doesn't remember this. Uh my mom, she had to have been like maybe in her 20s at this time. And I think she was joking, but she was like, "Don't you dare bring a white girl home." You know, that was she had. I vaguely remember her saying that back then. And the crazy thing about it is that our family, we come from a multiracial family.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand like where that came from, but now, she doesn't feel like that now
Yeah.
at all. Like, it's just, I don't know, maybe she was just going through a phase when you're 20 something, you just kind of say things.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what she said. But besides that, and I've never had anybody tell me like, don't like in my family, hey, don't date this type of person or that type of person.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I remember hearing some things like, be careful about it. I got a story, so full of stories. Ninth grade. So I remember, I can't remember what class it was, cooking class or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a girl in that class. She was a little white girl, and you know, back in the day, we didn't have these, we didn't have phones. We had,
Right.
you know, if you wanted to like get somebody's attention, you had to,
Go.
you know
Yep.
what
Fold that
I'm
paper up.
saying? Hey, here you go.
Do you
Pass the
like me?
notes,
Check
man.
yes or no.
Pass the notes. So, you know, she was like, "Hey, I think you're cute." Blah, blah, blah. So, okay, cool. And you know, it was nothing, just passing notes, just kids.
Yeah.
And one day she had wrote a note and particularly and said that she was afraid of like, you know, trying to like, you know, go any further because she didn't want to make any enemies, you know, with other
Mm-hmm.
black girls and stuff. And I was like, what? Like, that was the first time I had ever like, you know, encountered anything like that. And then after that, she didn't say nothing to me no more. So
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, if she got threatened or whatever, but it was just weird. that you would feel insecure about pursuing somebody that you find attractive or that you like just because you're afraid of what other people are going to think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
yeah, it's crazy. Yo, Mel, what's good, sis? Happy Wednesday to you as well. Hope
Happy
you are doing
Wednesday.
great.
M
said,
write a letter. Write a letter.
write a letter. Exactly. You had to send it and hope the teacher did not intercept it.
Yeah.
Because, man,
What do we have here?
or you have to sneak it behind and like,
Yeah, behind the chair.
That's exactly what it was.
Those were the days.
Doing good. How are y'all, man? We're doing good. We are, like I said earlier, we are too blessed to be stressed. Can't complain because it wouldn't do us any good anyway.
Hey man, yes, it's in good spirits. Spiritually strong, physically tired, but spiritually strong.
Yep.
Just put it like that.
Yeah, exactly. Now for me, no one ever told me that, but my family would always joke with me. It was like, "You gonna marry a white girl?" Because that's all I was around, like during school and things like that. Now my high school wasn't predominantly white. We were kind of, I would say like 60-40, but I played all the white sports. Obviously.
What's
soccer.
white sports, man? What's that?
That's what they used to call them. Because soccer was one of them because you rarely saw black people play soccer.
I thought that was like a Mexican sport.
Well, I mean, yeah, but still.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
But like,
I get what you mean.
Yeah, cross country was one of them.
Cross country. Where you going, boy? Cross country. Let me shut up, man. This is gonna turn into something else, man.
But I mean, that's all I was running. And then, I was in band too, and again, band was it was still a little mingling there. So,
and a lot of brothers wanting to play the trumpet, man.
Right, but I mean, yeah. I've been in several interracial relationships, and every time, my family days just be like, you're probably gonna end up marrying a white girl. And I'm married to a black woman, a beautiful black woman at that, who is also in the chat. So, and it's funny, she's even said it to me. Yeah. That's the funny part. She's like, I really thought you would be with a white woman. Nah. I like who I like. I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to.
Let's just be honest, man. Like, come on, can we be real for a second? Like, it's certain type of black guys that you just know. Like women.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like super nerdy. Watch anime. Let's just be real. Heavy in the gaming. They just, from my observation, that's what I see.
Yeah,
that's what I see, because it don't seem like a lot of sisters like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just what I see.
Mm-hmm.
And much like you, my folks had never told me nothing like that. However, I think I told the story about how and there's my wife right there in the chat, Crafty. I see you. How so our anniversary, so we've been together for 21 years this past March, and I think it was like sometime last year or whatever the case may be, somebody that she works with, she talks about me at work, so she was like, yeah, we've been together for 20 plus years, 21 years, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, congratulations, as a black girl. And then sure enough, here come the idiot moment. Is your husband white? She said, she's like, not that anything is wrong with that, but why would you ask that question? She's like, no.
It's crazy. It is crazy. It's crazy. By the way, chat, because we are live on Twitch and YouTube. So if y'all hear us say anything to anyone that is not in your chat, we are not crazy. I promise.
Nah, just a little tired. That's it.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. She thought I was white, man, and she's like, no, he's a black man. So it kind of made me wonder, like, damn, y'all don't think that black folks know how to like can make it work? We can make it
Right.
work. You know, not
Yeah.
all of us. This one thing I don't have pride. One thing I'm proud of is that, you know, I got all of my kids are with the same woman.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I ain't been married multiple times. I've been married to the same woman. We've been together since 18 and 19. All right. We pushing middle age now. So I'm very proud of that. Not saying anything is wrong with, you know, things happen, people don't work out, and then you start over. I'm not saying things wrong with that, but it's just it's an anomaly to see just strong black couples these days. With, you know, this ain't about that in this episode, of course. You know, this is about, you know, just being with who you love, regardless of the color of the skin. But the fact that she thought I was white kind of spoke volumes.
Yeah. See, Mel says, unfortunately, the way social media makes it seem, they try to pit us against each other. Is sad. I definitely agree with that statement, because social media is, oh my gosh. And honestly, so the thing that sparked this conversation was Dee actually sent me a screenshot, and I've seen this screenshot multiple times, right? I've seen it multiple times. And basically, this white girl went to prom with this black boy. And I'm sure y'all probably seen it, but
I've probably seen it too.
Yeah, the white girl went to prom with the black guy, black boy, and the dad was not the girl's dad was not having it. He was like, you know, block my number, don't contact me no more, go live with them N-words, and you know, if you like black people, then you should just be with them and all this, but you are dead to me.
Calling her some, you know, really degrading names.
Yeah.
Too, like, you know, a whore and all this other stuff. I'm like, dang, man, that's your daughter. Really?
All because she went to prom with a young black man.
That's crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. And you know, I'm sure there were people in the comments, because I mean, I didn't get to scroll through the comments, but I'm sure there were people in the comments siding with the father, and there was other people that were siding with the daughter, and you know, just creating division. That really is what social media does. It definitely creates division when there shouldn't be any division at all. And that's why we go ahead.
No, I'm just complimenting. Social media does create division. We got like, I mean, I know we're doing a podcast, but there's so many different podcasts out here that's kind of just pinning men and women against each other. You know, making it seem like we hate each other when we really don't. But you know, when the wrong people got a platform, it can plant some corruptible seeds out there. Yeah. And you know, that's just why I always tell people, like, you know, if you don't have to be on social media, just don't be on there, because it's really not doing you any good.
Right.
It's more bad than good from what I see.
Agreed. Let's see. If it was on Facebook, you know, the vibes and the comments were off. Yep, it was on Facebook, and I think at some point the comments got turned off, but when it got really bad, but you know,
and you can always count on that. It's gonna always be a back and forth.
Yeah. So like we said, you know, you're able to love who you want to love. You know, you're attracted to who you're attracted to. If you are a black male attracted to a white woman, or you know, Asian or Indian, Latina, that's totally fine. Don't let nobody like bully you into thinking it's not okay. You know, like we said earlier, you know, God wants us to love everybody. You know, even unfortunately, even our enemies. But we must love them. But that's a different topic.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Like literally, like about an hour and a half ago, me and the wife were literally crafty, wouldn't we? We were just talking about this. She was sitting in this chair, my chair, and I was sitting over there, and we were just because she's reading Matthew. She's going through the Gospels, and she had came across the part of when God said, "Love your neighbors," and so we ended up having a discussion. I know I'm kind of going off the subject, but we just had a discussion of the different divisions of love because there's more than one kind of love.
Yeah,
and of course, loving your enemies is very hard and requires a lot of prayer, fasting, and whatnot to get to that point, but. Yeah, you really shouldn't be hating anybody, especially for the color of their skin.
Agreed. Let's see. It's disappointing to see that kind of mindset still exists. If your disapproval is based solely on her being black, then that's not just an opinion, it's racism. It is a behavior that can be unlearned. That is very, very true. There are certain behaviors that can be unlearned.
Yeah.
The thing is, are you willing to unlearn them? And that's the $1 million question. So
I think that I think more people are not racist than people that are. Because I think most of us understand that we gotta coexist. We gotta live together. Where I live at down here in Florida, there are so many interracial couples. And I mean a lot. They're everywhere.
Oh, they're the same here.
Like down here is like black and white. There's a lot of Latinos here, especially down in South Florida. But I don't know, man. Just to have that mentality of you are turning your back on your people just because you love somebody outside of your race is crazy. There was a movie. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it, but it was Denzel Washington. It came out in the 90s called Mississippi Masala. Y'all ever seen that movie?
I don't know if I've heard of that one. It sounds familiar though.
Mississippi Masala. So Denzel Washington is like a handyman or something like that, and he's like working on this place of business that's owned by these Indians folks, like Hindus, and the dad had a daughter, and Denzel looking at the daughter looking at him, and this is actually going to tie into one of the points here that we have. But long story short, it was they had like a secret thing going on. They would see each other without her family really knowing about it because they was like, oh gosh, like absolutely no, Indian people, absolutely not. They arrange marriages and all that different type of stuff. So it's crazy. How people can just still kind of be set in that mentality. And even though it's 2025, it's still here.
Oh yeah,
it's still here. Like you get on Twitter, X, whatever it is, and you see some full blown, blatant racism on there.
Yeah, it ain't going nowhere.
No. Now I don't think they out there saying it in people's face, but they sure saying it behind the screen.
That's a whole nother episode in itself, right there.
They ain't saying all that in front of nobody's face. They quiet as a mouse in public. See some brothers, they heart start racing.
Keyboard warriors.
They ain't saying nothing. I heard about that the other week and read that. So through the synopsis calls Zora. Was that Mamdani?
Mamdani? Yeah, Mamdani.
Who was running for mayor in New York was related to the people from the original story, Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a good movie. It's not like Training Day or
not like his
The Book of
usual.
Eli. It's not one of those type of movies. It's one of those movies that nobody really probably saw that he played in, and I just so happened to see it when I was younger. I've seen it a number of times, so I think it's worth watching.
Yeah, might have to look into that one.
I don't know where you can find it.
Right.
When I saw it was on VHS, so that was again the 90s, folks.
Yeah.
90s.
Oh, this is a great question. Can black people be racist?
Man, you know what? That's not the first time I've heard that.
It is not.
You know, all right. Well, let's break. Okay, what is? And let's not put any opinions. I want straight definition. What does it mean to be racist? That's what I want to know. What does it mean to be racist? Now, most people will be like having some sort of issue with somebody due to the color of their skin, right? But I thought that was prejudice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I was under the impression. So what is racist? Because I think people, man, we've been throwing that word around for so long. People the context of it's been lost. And now it's like anytime you see anybody that's what is it? In the true definition of racism.
Then no.
Well, what is the true definition of it? If y'all got to Google it, that's fine. I just want somebody to put it in the chat.
Because I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's showing prejudice or antagonism to a member of a certain ethnicity, race, social class. I think that's right. Something like that along those lines. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
So prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So based on that definition, black people aren't racist.
No,
I think it really boils down to we as black people have enough of it, and we just don't like. I ain't gonna say we, because it's not all we.
Yeah, not everybody.
Some black people just don't like other races. They don't. They don't like the Hispanics. They don't like the Caucasians. They don't like the Orientals. They don't like those people. So I especially if racism is meant to be toward a minority group.
Right. So they can't be.
So if we don't like the Caucasian people who are the majority, so I mean, I think black people just don't like white folks, white people.
Not all.
Especially those that don't treat them fairly. So it ain't just the white people. It ain't just, it can be the Hispanics. It can be the Asians, the Japanese. It can be anybody.
Yeah.
So whoever does them wrong, that's who they don't like. So not you say Oriental. That's old school. Look, I'm trying to keep it politically correct here.
1956, man.
You know what? Shut up.
Why you use your grandfather's lingo, bro?
Hey. My old soul.
Right? Yeah, like you said, man, I have literally talked to some black people who genuinely do not like other races, and then that's just that. So, but like by definition, black people can't be racist. We can be What term do you want to use? Discriminative towards other races? Or have some sort of prejudice against them?
Yeah,
because that it does exist.
we can definitely discriminate.
But I don't. Black people can't. We can't. Okay. You ever heard of the term redlining? Like, do you remember like back in the day? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you remember like back in the day, like there were like, blacks who wanted to buy houses in certain neighborhoods, and they, the real estate agents and stuff would kind of give them a really, really, really hard time.
Yeah.
Trying to move into that neighborhood, just because it was a predominantly white neighborhood, and they were kind of afraid that they would, cause some sort of like
gentrification.
Within the neighborhood. So that was considered redlining. That's racist for sure. Because like you said, by definition, where it says antagonism against a community or institution that's a minority or marginalized, Black people can't do that
right
to anybody else.
Yep.
Like we can't do that to Asian people.
Mm-mm.
Can't do that to white people. You can't.
Nope.
A house of discrimination in Chicago. Yeah. Yes.
Yep. That was it. And then Mel says we make up 14% of America. Caucasians make up 63. Based on those numbers, how can we be racist?
Can't. No, not even if we wanted to.
So, but
that
was a great question.
It really
because I don't think a lot of us really think about that.
Nope. That's why when I hear white people say, I'm like, what are you talking about? This that it's racist Black people too. Like, what? How? Okay. All right. So let's get the train back on the tracks. Culture diversity. Yeah. This is like. I don't know where. I'm pretty sure everybody here stays in America. Unless you're in Africa or Europe or something, or Japan. If you stay in America, then you stay in Wakanda. Yeah, the secret place. What are you doing here? How did you get in? America's a melting pot. We got whatever you can think of here. So I don't see why it's surprising to anybody that you see. I think we should see more interracial couples, to be honest with you, because there's so many like just different cultures here. I feel like we should see more, but again, it boils down to what you like.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about this last week. I talk about my marriage a lot, and it seems to be with single people. That's kind of looking for love or hope. And I tell them, like, I said, I didn't know I was going to marry a Black woman. Like, I just didn't know. It wasn't planned. It wasn't something I was against. I didn't know who I was going to marry at all. I didn't even know I was going to get married. And it didn't matter to what my wife looked like. It just didn't matter to me. As long as I was attracted to her and she treated me right. And that could have came in any shape or form, but it just so happened to come in the form of a Black woman. So
yeah,
which is fine. So and if it had been otherwise, and when otherwise, I tell people this all the time: you can't help who you love. Love whoever treats you the best, and whoever treats you with love and respect. Man and woman, if that's who you want. Go for them.
Yeah. Agreed. And you always hear the argument when it comes to this topic. You know, you don't know anything about their culture. Why would you date someone that when you don't know their culture? Well, that's the whole point of learning.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in college, there was a couple at the church I attended. You know, he's Indian descent, and you know she was white, and you know they both learned. She loved him so much that she learned his culture. Like they had an actual Indian wedding with the whole wardrobe and everything,
Yeah.
and I mean it was beautiful, and that that's the thing. That's the beauty of you know diversity,
Yeah.
learning everyone's culture. Um, you know, when people see an interracial like you know a black man, white woman, they was like they will always be like, oh, you don't know his culture. They could be dope boys. They could you know be thugs and things like that. But in the reality of it, you don't know what their culture is. That's just what you were taught.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, me and the wife, we were having a conversation about, loving our enemies, but also not to judge people too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you see somebody that's black, and you not everybody, but they'll kind of have this misconception, like, oh, you're a thug, you got tattoos and
Mm-hmm.
wear your hat backwards and all this stuff. Like, there's some things never change.
Yeah. And you want to know where the craziest place is that you see, that you hear stuff like this is? The car business. Like, seriously, I've had multiple customers. Well, not me personally, but I've seen multiple customers come into a showroom and they're like, maybe ripped jeans, tank top, something like that.
Yeah.
And the salesperson be like, oh, he can't buy no car. Look at the way he's dressed. This man dropped like 10 grand straight greenbacks, like
Wow.
straight green. And you just missed out on that sale because
You better stop
were,
judging people.
man, look, I learned that a long time ago.
You don't know what people got, and you don't know who you. This is why God said, "Don't judge nobody and to love one another." You might a person. We go sermon. You might be like pushing your blessing away by judging people.
Mm-hmm.
That person that you're looking like, man, this dude right here looking busted and blah blah blah. Like, but he might be like 6-7 million in the bank.
You would never know.
Just needing somebody to talk to in that moment.
Yep.
And then you lend them an ear, and that you don't know, man. Sometimes that things work like that. You won't know unless you treat people with love and respect.
Mm-hmm.
I know it. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we all are guilty of that. We've done that before. We've like misjudged somebody.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, let me shut up. So because I got a client. He's a data analyst. He's a data analyst for the government. He's a former military. And we talk about this stuff all the time. We talk about money. We just talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about race. He's a white guy. Talk about race. But anyway, he says, I've gone in like rough neighborhoods and nobody bothers me. He said, because a lot of times I'll dress like a bum, wear this baggy shirt, shorts, and I'll drive my old I don't know what the heck kind of car it is. It's a white car it's an 03. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 3 vehicles, and that's one of them. He said nobody bothers me. So nobody knows that I actually got money. So that's true, man. People judge people based on how they look.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, back to this culture thing, I think it's a beauty. Like I said earlier, it's a beautiful thing to learn someone else's culture, because all right, you do get into that interracial relationship where you're gonna learn the culture. It ain't just gonna be, oh, I'm with this white woman, I'm with this black man. You want to be able to, especially like those that came from across the big pond. You
Oh yeah.
definitely want to learn their culture because you don't want to offend them because of something they do different than what you do.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I agree. So we got another point here about religious beliefs.
and this, I think these next two are definitely the biggest ones when it comes to interracial relationships.
Yeah.
Because people have different beliefs when it comes to church, when it comes to God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people they pick and choose what they want out of the Bible to make it fit what how they feel. Like we said earlier, in the Old Testament, it said, not to be with foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
So people take that and it's like, well, God said it in his book, so we should obey God. We should not date foreigners. We should not marry them. We should not do this. We shouldn't do that. But I mean, y'all say that part, but y'all forget everything else that happened in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you believe it or not, when Jesus died on the cross, I think he abolished the old law. So can't use that argument.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Some people still cling to it though, like it's still relevant or whatever the case may be. And when they cherry pick it, they take it out of context as well. Like it was not talking about you not dating outside of your race. Like again, like if you can just do an in-depth Bible study on that, that's not what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we were not compatible, then having children with somebody that's not your race wouldn't be possible, and it is.
Yeah.
100% possible because we're human.
Exactly.
You're human, and I wish people would just look at it from that perspective. Like the whole idea of like just skin is one of the biggest forms of division in our age.
Mm-hmm.
Is we've gotten to this stigma, negative stigma in society, to where if you're fair skinned, you're beautiful. If you're dark, you're not. If your hair is straight, you're beautiful. If your hair is curly, you're not. Or all this terrible, it's demonic, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just devices that's designed to pin us against each other.
Yeah.
And to make it seem like, because like I said, black people have been through a lot, man. Like we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
We've been called subhuman. We've been in captivity, slavery, discrimination.
Inferior.
We've
Yep.
been through so much stuff, but yet, and a lot of black people will hold on to that. They'll be like, because I've seen it to where if you date somebody that's white and you're black, they'll be like, why are you dating your oppressor?
Mm-hmm.
This person isn't oppressing me. What are you talking about? But
Yeah, your ancestors wouldn't be proud of you right now.
forget them. My ancestors, they dead. What my ancestors doing for me right now? Oh man, please. But religious beliefs.
Yeah. So I go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Oh, so Chad, I have a question. Do y'all feel that there are racist people within the body of Christ?
I feel like it. Yeah. I feel like it's I do feel like that. Hold on, wait. Remember the definition of races. Let's go back to that first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do believe there are some people in the body of Christ that are not fully like delivered, so to speak. I do feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the story I told earlier about the woman,
Yeah.
the aunt that said that bad statement about the white women liking black men in the family, that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I believe so.
Yep.
I got to question their salvation and their love for Christ. You know, there is a such thing as false converts as well. Because anytime,
Yes.
if you're bringing division to the body of Christ, then you are not like a part of the body of Christ.
Right. Big facts. Big facts. Let's see. Panda and M. Yep, 100%. So I've met a lot of racist, religious white people.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll try to use the Bible to justify it.
Justify why.
They will try. Hey, here's how you pick out racist folks in the body of Christ. Come out with like a Jesus movie and make him black.
Which I mean would be accurate anyway,
That's
but
all you gotta do. Accurate or not, do it and watch what happens. You see how they act with the Disney princesses.
With the Little Mermaid, yep. With the live action, yep.
You see how they act with that.
Mm-hmm.
Make Jesus black and watch what happens. It'd be like a smoke bomb.
And here's the crazy part. So, you know, we all grew up believing that Jesus was white, right? Or most characters in the Bible were white. And so, like, I remember we were having this talk in class, and I remember me and my god brother, we would read through Songs of Solomon, you know, because his book was based on the woman he loved, which happened to be a black woman. Mm-hmm. So, like, before we actually knew, it was like, okay, well, these people in Middle Eastern, they ain't really white. They're, you know, brown complexion. You know, we would always say, well, I mean, Solomon was in love with a black woman, so where's your argument going here? You know? But that was before we knew like most characters in the Bible were Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
So
and Moses' wife was black too. It said that she was from Ethiopia. Her name was Muriel.
Yep.
She was a black woman. You know, so I don't know, man. This is starting to like go in another direction, which I really don't want to go down right now in this episode. I don't mind talking about it. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk about it, but because I do have a problem with a lot of stuff being portrayed, to be one way when it really wasn't that way. Because I feel like there's some conditioning that's been trying to go on that's done a lot of damage to people. So maybe later in the future.
New episode, guys.
Yeah. Man, look, we think of episodes within episodes.
Right. Crazy.
So we got about at least 3-4 other topics lined up for y'all. So let's go ahead and we gotta wrap this up. Let's get to the family acceptance.
And we've touched on this a little bit. I'm gonna let you take this one.
Well, I mean, I know people who date people who know that their family won't really accept. So, but they do it anyway. I've always heard like, you know, you can tell somebody to not do something, they're gonna do it anyway. You know, don't date outside your race. what do? They date outside the race. You should have never said. Why did you say anything? You should have never said anything, and now they're just gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I have seen situations to where the family just absolutely did not accept the fact that their child or daughter or son dated somebody that looked like them, and they would be like, okay, we'll just kick rocks then.
Yeah.
This is my life and whatnot. So there are others who seek to please their family so much that they will, break it off, just to keep the peace within the family, which I think is stupid. Don't break up with somebody because your family don't. What are you marrying your mom and dad?
Right.
Or you marry somebody that you love and that loves you. So, I think this subject right here, I think family acceptance is when two people really love each other. I think that's a weak stipulation. Like, because I don't think it should play that big of a factor.
Yeah.
Because I think that at some point, like, if you married somebody outside of your race, they're gonna have to come around at some point. Unless they just hardcore, just hateful.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Don't want them around. Don't want her around. Don't bring them around. If y'all have kids, don't want to see them.
Oof. It's folks that's like that. There are people that's like that. Yeah.
Yep. Like M said, it can be a test of character. Being accepted by the family is a make or break situation. It is a D&D moment.
Yeah, you got to choose either the person that you love or family, and people have a record of choosing for who they love over the family. So
it still went strong.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I've read stories of like people from like the 1930s and 40s who had secret relationships, and in the South, it's kind of a romantic thing. They knew that it was a forbidden love, and they would flee to the North. Because things weren't like that in the North. Versus the South.
Yep, I believe there was a movie that came out about that. It was a true story.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it happened many times.
It was a true story. I can't remember the name of the movie, but that was something along those lines.
Yeah. Go with who you love. So that's your family.
And it's crazy because I actually have a story about this. My first girlfriend, she was white. This was my junior year in high school, going to my senior year. And we went to the same church. Her parents didn't attend church at all. And, her and I, we started dating. Her parents knew nothing about it. Now, I remember a couple of times, like, her mom would come to church. And, like, we used to sit together. So when her mom came to church, I wouldn't sit by them. Like, I would go sit on the other side of the auditorium. And, she remembers her dad making comments about Black people and this, that, and the third. And, her just hearing those comments, it made her so afraid that they would disown her that, she broke it off with me. And I mean, it sucked because, we were close. But I mean, looking back on it now, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's just reality, man. That happens. It does. It's a whole other story when you're that young versus
now.
Now it is what it is. You do what you want, but I get it. Let's hit this last point right here.
Yep.
Judgment from society. Do people really care? Who you date? You know, I know for me, I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I don't care. You know,
If
like
if you're happy, you happy.
yeah, because what you do ain't got nothing to do with my life.
Right.
I mean, I've always kind of felt like, you know, interracial couples who end up having kids have some of the most beautiful children.
Oh my gosh, what?
Man, it's almost like they're like a jewel, like found. Like I'm like, man, like you just, you know, you just mix certain ingredients together and you just get this wow, this amazing, gorgeous person.
We just birthed the Powerpuff Girls.
Right. So I'm like, how in the world could this like? How could this not be right? You know, some of the most attractive people in the world are like mixed with some of everything.
Yep. I mean, for me, when it comes to it, a lot of people care about what other people think.
Yeah.
I think that's the sad part about it. People think about what other people will think. You know, I feel like if the world didn't care what other people thought, and you know, this is my life, I want to live it how I want to live it.
Yeah.
Where to be a better place. You know, I want to date who I want to date. I want to marry who I want to marry.
Yeah.
I ain't got to get your approval. You know, you're not paying my bills. You're not giving me my money.
Why do people care so much about what other folks think? I just don't. Because people will go out of their way to impress people they don't know, to bend over backwards for people that really don't care about their well-being. They will buy things like I don't understand, man. Like society, when did it just come to the point that society is like the ultimate judge of whether you're successful or to give you a stamp of approval? I really don't know. I mean, I just, you know, it's hard for me to like relate because, like I said, I've been married, you know, with my wife for 21 years, and we were young when we got together. So I can't say I've been on the dating scene, and I just don't know the mentality of people when it comes to this. Like I always thought, when two people love each other, that's their business. You know, that shouldn't have anything to do with nobody else.
Yeah.
Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, love who you want. If they treat you right, if you guys are on the same page and you just want to do life with them, do it.
Yep, exactly.
Do it, man. I know, like I said, I know so many interracial couples right now. I mean, I don't.
Who cares? Who cares what other people think?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I clap my hands. I said, this is different. I like different.
Yeah. And I mean, like, obviously, especially in the South, you know, you when it comes to the interracial dating and stuff, you know, you walking down the street, you see people just
yeah.
You know, and it's
that still happens. Still happens. Yeah.
It's crazy. But
well, I mean, it's not gonna stop. Because again, this is something that's always been around. It's not new. And you know, I just encourage people, you know, whoever you love, you know, love that person. If you're somebody out there and you don't date outside your race and you just prefer you know people that look like you, nothing wrong with that either. You know, everyone's got preferences, and we got a right to have preferences. You know, there's nowhere saying you can't prefer somebody else. It's just not possible. But
totally agree.
Well, I think we've hit all the nails on the head tonight. You got any closing remarks you want to make? Any plugs you want to put in there?
I mean, this was a obviously all of our episodes were really great. This was a good topic. We just excuse me, we just want to encourage y'all. If you're considering an interracial relationship, do what's best for you. Do what makes you happy. Don't listen to the outsiders, all that good stuff. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person you're gonna answer to. So
that's right.
But as far as shameless plugs, I'm slowly coming back to streaming, guys. Slowly. So just bear with me. I've just been enjoying myself lately. So but I actually did get a new sponsor for the channel. But I will tell y'all a little bit more about that because I'm actually gonna do a live unboxing of it. And next month I will be participating in a charity stream for type 1 diabetes. I will be going live on May the 11th. I'll be playing horror games with some people in the community actually, and I believe me and one of the directors. Well, we hit a goal, and so the director has to eat a scorpion. And I told her I wouldn't leave her hanging. I told her I'd eat one with her, just so she feel okay, since I've done it already. So y'all make sure to tune in on May the 11th. We are going to be raising awareness and money for type 1 diabetes. It's going to be a fun time. I don't know if we're going to play DBD or if we're playing Phasmophobia. I don't know yet, but it's going to be a fun time. So yeah, that's all I got.
That's what's up. Yeah. Like I said, no plugs from me. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast. Oh yeah, speaking of that, we will not be here next week.
Right.
That's the week I'll be moving into my house. Y'all already know. If you know by moving, then you know. But we're actually trying to get internet hooked up maybe like Wednesday or Thursday next week. But still, I ain't gonna have nothing set up. So everything's gonna be, and I really don't want to rush it. I don't want to just put stuff together. I want to put everything together as neatly as I can. Because I've already told you guys about cable management and stuff. So I'm trying to make my area look immaculate. If I, as much as I can. So I'm not gonna rush it. So we won't be live next week, but we should be back to normal the week after. With another topic, so which kind of falls right in alignment with the beginning of the month. And usually we don't do it on the beginning of the month anyway, but yeah, because next week, like I said, we're moving. And then once I'm settled in and all of that stuff, we'll see where it goes with me getting my feet wet again and seeing what direction I actually want to go.
Yeah,
with content creation, because I still make content, folks. Believe it or not, I do. You just don't see me on Twitch. That's all. I make a lot. I mean, you follow me. Just about everywhere. You see what I do. So, but yeah. What we got? DVD. All right, folks. We hope everybody out there has enjoyed this episode. If you would do us a big favor and smash the like button on the stream. Yeah, and subscribe if you're new. Share this with somebody as well. Share it on your Facebook account. Just say, hey, I recommend y'all watch these two guys. We can't do it without y'all. Y'all are like, our lifeline when it comes to exposure, because it's hard running a YouTube channel. So your supporters definitely make you, and y'all are the reason we keep doing this. But we hope everybody out there has an amazing rest of your week. Y'all be blessed. Continue to put God first in everything that you do. And we will see y'all the week after next.
Indeed. Yeet.
Y'all know me, Big the Legend G, with my co-host Initial D, bringing that heat in the twist street. Grab your popcorn, kick up your feet, sit back, relax. We about to blow. Welcome to our channel. Enjoy the show. Ayy.
Hard conversation, brain stimulation, BGID, no imitation. Look, pull up on the mic. Two bitty guys is rocking the night. Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch. I guarantee it's gonna be a hit. It's showtime.